Bring it on. California Governor Gavin Newsom has called a special session of the state legislature to attack Donald Trump, even before Trump takes office. I'll be a member of that special session as the newly elected representative from the 75th Assembly District. Coming up, I'll tell you what I plan to do to fight Gavin Newsom. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and I will be sworn in as a new member of the state legislature representing the 75th Assembly District in San Diego County on December 2nd. That is the same date that Governor Gavin Newsom has called a special session of the state legislature to weaponize state government here in California against incoming President Donald Trump. Now, mind you, Donald Trump has done nothing because he hasn't been in office yet during this term. And yet Newsom has decided, well, whatever he's going to do, it's illegal, and we're gonna file lawsuits. That is the essence of what he's proposing the special session focus on. But in actuality, we all know what this is. It's a dog and pony show, a divisive political stunt that is, in essence, the opening salvo of Governor Gavin Newsom's 2028 presidential campaign. So here's the actual press release from Newsom's office. Governor Newsom convenes a special session of the legislature to protect California values. Goes on to say that Trump is a threat to civil rights, reproductive freedom, climate action, immigrant families, and so much more. I am actually chomping at the bit to have a debate about what are California values as represented by Gavin Newsom and the supermajority in Sacramento versus what are the values, the aspiration, the hopes, the dreams, the frustrations that embody Trump's landslide victory in the 2024 elections. That is a debate I am chomping at the bit to have. And Republicans ought to be treating this as a significant opportunity. Gavin Newsom's little dog and pony show that he is calling into, convening this special session of the legislature is almost as stupid as his red state, blue state debate with Ron DeSantis. Do you remember that spectacular crash and burn disaster that Newsom engineered for himself, by the way? His ego couldn't be contained. He was the red state, blue state hero. He was going to go in there. He was going to mop the floor with Ron DeSantis, even with Fox News as the host, as Sean Hannity being the debate moderator. He was going to do it. What happened? Gavin Newsom, pretty boy Gavin, who's always been anointed to things. He's never actually earned it or worked hard to get it. He's always been handed his things in life on a silver platter by the power barons that have cultivated his career and propped him up. Gavin Newsom got his ass kicked, deservedly so, in that red state, blue state debate. So now, not having learned his lesson, Newsom says, let's convene a special session of the legislature. Now, the only thing that's different here is that instead of Sean Hannity being the moderator of a discussion about red versus blue, there is no real moderation here. It is going to be the Democrat supermajority that gets to run the legislative session. They get to be the one in the chair to gavel things in and out, to call people out of order, to cut off microphones. And yes, the so-called democratic institutions that Newsom says are under threat. Here in California, those democratic institutions controlled by the Democrat supermajority, they don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in civility, decorum. They cut off people's microphones. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what that special session looks like, huh? Let's have Republicans be proud, be strong, be vocal about what does Trump's victory mean to this country? What are the dreams, the hopes, the fears, the frustrations, the goals? What are Americans seeking in putting Donald Trump back in office? Oh, that is a debate I'm perfectly happy to rehash because we just had the debate. It's called the presidential election, but Newsom doesn't seem to like the results, doesn't seem to accept the results. And so he wants to have a debate about California values. So what are those California values? Pro-criminal. We are the most pro-criminal state in the nation. And Newsom's policies to be coddling of the criminals, those policies have been rejected soundly by voters with the 70% landslide win for Prop 36 just a few days ago. So let's talk about who's going to stand up for crime victims, who's for the criminals. Those are California politicians' values to be pro-criminal. President Trump, the American people, California voters, they're pro-crime victim. They want to stop the crime wave, something that Gavin Newsom fought bitterly against. Let's talk about securing the border. Are there values in allowing people to cut in line, allowing people to traffic other human beings? Because that's what border security is all about. Gavin Newsom and the California Democrats are enabling human trafficking. How do they enable it? They've declared us a sanctuary state, which, by the way, is also a pro-criminal policy. So once again, what sort of values, what sort of corrupt, tainted, illegitimate values say that we should protect a criminal and re-release them into our streets with the sanctuary state policy versus deporting them? But that same border crisis is all about human trafficking, where these coyotes and cartels charge people money, thousands of dollars, to put them in a dangerous position, the dangerous journey of crossing the border illegally. Gavin Newsom is incentivizing that by undercutting Border Patrol and by dangling the carrot of free welfare benefits at your expense, taxpayer expense, to incentivize people to cross illegally. Because they have the promise that you pay a little money up front to a coyote for human trafficking, but you're going to get free health care, you're going to get welfare, you're going to get legal defense. You might even get a cash upfront grant to buy yourself a new home. That's what the legislature tried to achieve in the last session. Those aren't values that the American people share. Those are not even values that California voters share. But those are values that Gavin Newsom wants to defend. I mean, he is saying that we need to be ready to sue to keep the border open. That's in essence what they've done. You know, in the last Trump term, they filed over 120 lawsuits, an average of 10 a day during the height of the administration. And those lawsuits were epic failures. California tax dollars went to fund illegitimate, frivolous lawsuits against Trump during his first term. Those lawsuits were largely unsuccessful. You paid the price. All that money could have gone to, I don't know, hire prosecutors. Instead of going to court to go after Donald Trump, maybe we go after some of those criminals that we've just been talking about. How about California values in paying for gender change surgeries for inmates in prison? Are those values? Or keeping secrets from parents about what's going on with their children? A violation of the 14th Amendment, by the way, constitutionally protected rights of parents to know what's going on with their children. Are those California values? I don't think so. I don't think the voters would agree with that. How about the values associated with introducing controversial curriculum on I can't even say the word because we'll be suppressed by YouTube, but controversial curriculum, and you know what I'm talking about, in the classroom for kindergartners, not just on pronouns, but all sorts of other inappropriate content. That's not reflective of California values. But we should have poster boards of the actual curriculum and books in the assembly. This is what Mr. Newsom believes he needs to sue over. Are those values? Are those California values? Is this worth any of our taxpayer money? Or is it a political stunt that divides us? Does it distract us from the real issues that Californians are worried about? What are you suing on, Mr. Newsom? Do those reflect the values of average Californians? No. In fact, you are suing on things, because I can predict what he's going to sue on. You're suing on things that Californians don't support. You're putting their name as taxpayers on a lawsuit on positions they absolutely don't support. Now, I'm going to have a challenge in that I believe some Republicans in California, I don't think they quite understand politics. I don't think they understand what their voters and what the California voters writ large are expressing in these results. They're going to want to shut up and sit down. They're going to want to be quiet, not rock the boat. Let's let Newsom have his little special session. Let's sit in the back quietly like good little boys and girls. No, your job's to speak up. Your job is to be the voice of opposition. Newsom has decided to create a vehicle for himself. Just like that red state, blue state debate with Ron DeSantis. That was his idea, by the way. That was an epic failure that showed everyone that he wasn't ready for prime time. I'm telling you, his presidential aspirations really sunk. They took a crash and burn when he did that debate. And I believe the same opportunity has been laid before us in this red state, in this special session of the legislature to start lawsuits against Donald Trump that convenes on December 2nd. So on December 2nd, I'll be taking the oath at noon, along with 120 other state legislators, 80 in the state assembly and 40 in the state senate. And they're going to, after we are sworn in, say, oh, this is not just swearing in day. There's actually legislative business to conduct. Mr. Newsom has called us into session, special session, emergency session, file the lawsuits. Well, what are the lawsuits on? We don't know yet. What has Trump done? Oh, he's not in office yet. But we're going to sue him, by golly. Okay, what are we going to sue on? Can we be specific about it? Oh, we're talking about the border. Okay, so let's talk about human trafficking. Are you suing to allow this to continue? We've got victims of human trafficking in the lobby. They'd like to be heard. Oh, you won't let them have a platform to be heard? Oh, you're cutting off our microphone now? Not accepting our emotions? Oh, you say democracy is under attack. Yes, you're damn right it's under attack. You just shut off our microphones. It's time to stand up and fight. Californians don't support the extremism that the supermajority party represents. So I'd like your ideas. When I'm sworn in on December 2nd, and when I'm part of that special session, how should we handle it? I don't mean just, fight or not fight. I think most of you expect that I'm going to fight, and you want to see the fight. But give me ideas. I'll share it with my colleagues. Good ideas, I think, stand on their own merit. And we present them to your legislators and say, hey, here are some ideas that people have been giving us as to the points we should make, the tactics we should embrace, how we should convey our message. How do we fight? Sound off in the comments on this podcast. Share this podcast with all your friends. And help me build the ongoing opposition movement at Reform California. Go to our website, reformcalifornia.org, reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution. Because my job is not just going to be to go up to Sacramento and hit a button or speak out on the floor or in the committee meetings. That's part of the job. My bigger role is a leader of this movement, along with you, leading this movement at Reform California, lighting a fire. I always say politicians do not see the light until they feel the heat. So if I'm going to be successful in Sacramento, if some of my other fellow Republicans who are ready to fight, chomping at the bit to fight, are going to have any chance to be a voice for you, to be a real opposition force, to start moving the needle, to start flipping seats, we've got to have your help. How are we going to reach voters? to put pressure on that institution without the resources we need to run the ads, to send the text messages, to do the media events, to do town halls, to canvass, to go door to door. We're going to need your help. So please, we can't do it without gas in the tank. Chip in a contribution at reformcalifornia.org and sign up. At the bottom of that website at reformcalifornia.org, you can sign up to get our weekly newsletter with all sorts of information on California news and politics. Be part of this movement. This is an opportunity to take back our state, just as President Trump has taken back our nation for us. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and incoming state assembly member for the 75th District. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.